Hey, what's up? It's Greg from Fishing Headquarters, and today is Wednesday, July 12th. I'm up here in Barnegat Light. It's about 5:30 in the afternoon time, almost evening. Taking a little stroll on the bay side here in the Barnegat Light Bay Beach. I want to share an updated fish report with y'all for this windy afternoon. Beautiful sunny day, but wind kind of kicked up here, I'd say around maybe 2-3 o'clock time frame. This morning was a beautiful day. Yesterday was also a beautiful day. I had some good fun charters in the mornings. I got out this morning with Eric Trout from Pennsylvania, I believe Furlong, PA. We got into some light tackle fishing. I got a striper on the fly rod, also some smaller blues. We did a little fluke fishing too, picked a couple fluke. His first fish was actually a keeper fluke. It was on the slower side, but we had a keeper, I think it was 19 3/4, first fish of the day. Sorry about this wind, maybe I should stroll someplace and tuck behind, get a little protection here, sorry about that. But yeah, we had some good fun fishing. He got his little trifecta in, small schoolie striped bass we tagged, which was, I think it was like a 19 and a half inch, something like that we tagged. Also, like I mentioned, we had the 19 1/4 fluke, also had a couple shorts. I think we only fluked for maybe, I don't know, maybe most of a half hour or so, something like that. But we spent most of the time doing a little fly fishing, light tackle in the inlet. Also in some of the main channels, me and Thoroughfares fishing some of the sod banks and such. Just kind of bobbing and weaving through a couple of kayaks and sailboats. Figured I'd kind of tuck behind this, these little reeds here to get a little protection from this cranking south wind. So yeah, yesterday I had an awesome time. I was out. I actually forget who chartered me yesterday, but we caught some striped bass. I believe we had 4 bass yesterday, up to 30. I think it was 30 inches or 31 inches. I know we tagged 2. I think we tossed back a few, but yeah, I believe it was 4 striped bass yesterday. Didn't really do any fluke fishing. Caught a bunch of blues, which was good fun fishing on light tackle. Then we decided to actually roam out and take a look at the reef, and on our way out there, we kind of came across tuna breaking water. A friend of mine actually got one, Dan DePasquale at Barnegat Lake, got one earlier in the morning. And like I said, I was on the way to Garden State North and came across them. So just to kind of give an idea of where I was, basically draw a line from Barnegat Light to Garden State North, and it was somewhere in there. Ended up working a little bit to the east and found a little more of them. I personally was not prepared for them. I was geared up for light tackle, say bay and inshore fishing, striped bass, blues, and fluke. I unfortunately did not have my popping rod, which I normally always have on board, especially in the fall, but my mistake. Wasn't prepared. So yeah, I was sitting there basically throwing sand eel imitations, small little swimming plugs and stuff, some soft plastics, epoxy jigs. I threw everything in the kitchen sink we had in the boat, some poppers and whatnot, some swimming plugs, everything we had. Couldn't get tight, but we must have saw, I don't know, at least probably 50 bluefin, and very, very close to us, well within casting range with a small 7-foot rod. Kind of frustrating, but it was cool. I forget exactly where the crew was from, but they were stoked to see it. Bluefin busted on the side of the boat, horned up on bait. It was always a great thing to see. On my way in today, when I was at the dock washing up, a friend of mine showed up and said, "Hey man, you want to jump my boat? We're gonna go take a quick peek real quick." I'm heading out solo, so I jumped in, went for a cruise. We saw one fish blow up kind of where I saw him yesterday. We ended up working up the line, worked a little bit deeper. We found a few, nothing major, but I know we saw a couple boats hooked up, talked to a few guys. Definitely a number of fish were caught today. Awesome to see bluefin hitting the deck of some of the anglers fishing those, say, inshore waters. 100-foot water depth and less. Dante from Magic Tail shared with me he had 3 fish today in a very similar area where I saw him yesterday. Pete from Pete E, he was out with his son. I think he went with a friend on the brink. I think the name was in the boat. He was out there. I think they killed one. A bunch of guys been getting in on them. Those are just some recent text messages some friends sent me. Said, hey, got one. Had to kind of rub it in, share that. So I basically wanted to share that with you guys. We got some hard south wind kicking up here. It's been beautiful. It was like Lake Atlantic, super warm water, but I think a lot of that might be changing here in the near future. When I mentioned hard south winds, a lot of times that comes with upwelling thereafter. Maybe we do see an upwelling event, maybe we don't. Hopefully we don't. It's been beautiful, clean water, warm water. Water temperature on LBI has been like 70 degrees, 68, 69, but every single day up to 70, 72, possibly even 74 degrees on the beach. Temperatures we really don't see, super clean, almost Caribbean-like water along the beaches. It's awesome to see right now. I can share The water temperature we had on the way in, surface water temperature is 77 degrees. That was on our way in just an hour ago. So the surface temperature is definitely going to warm up from that solar warming throughout the day. I wanted to share there are some fluke on the beach. Have not really heard many kingfish reports. There's plenty of fluke in the bay. Hearing some reports coming from the main thoroughfares, some of the deeper channels. I don't think you're going to take a quick little break while this helicopter flies over here. All right, back to the action. I don't think you're going to do too good fishing in the super shallow parts of the bay because the water is very, very warm. But prove me wrong. Get out and prove me wrong there. There's definitely a lot of fluke in the bay. I've been hearing a lot of good reports from the open bay, 42, BI, BB, buoy, even a little north. People fishing in around that open stretch, say deeper parts of the bay, 8 to 10, 8 to 12 foot of water where you can find it. Live minnows definitely always going to be game on for fluke, but the gulps are going to be good baits. Spearing also an awesome bait. There's some peanut bunker around if you can get some fresh peanut bunker. Peanut bunker always be a great bait for fluke. Fishing the main channels like Oyster Creek and Double Creek up here in Barnegat Light, definitely a good opportunity there. I know a friend, Rich, he had a couple keepers this morning. I talked to him. I think he was fishing in around Double Creek. As far as a spot burn, if you feel like the spot burn, sorry, Double Creek's a huge channel. It's a popper channel. Oyster Creek as well. Basically, I can share there's been some fluke in the inlet. Fluke fishing in Barnegat Inlet's been pretty good, really the whole entire season. Whether you're fishing off the rocks, whether you're fishing off the beach, or you're fishing in the boat, maybe you want to fish the docks and the bayside, really good area, really good opportunity to catch some fluke really all season long. As we get here into say mid prime time, even later summer, July and August, fishing for fluke in the inlet is always a great opportunity as these fish start exiting. When I mentioned exiting, a lot of times those channels that lead up to the inlet are great spots to look for these fluke. Also, they stage up sometimes at the reef site, which is just outside the inlet, it's Barnegat Light Reef. There have been some good reports, there's also been some slow reports. More recently, I haven't heard that many great reports. I have heard some good reports coming from the Axel Carlson. Garden State North was producing, Garden State South was producing. I had some kind of hot and cold reports which I shared. One day I did good, next day I went back and did poor. That's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. If I was fluke fishing every single day, I think I'd be a little bit more dialed in. I haven't had a number of fluke trips, one after the other. Just like today, a guy jumped on, wanted to fly fish for stripers. That was his, kind of goal, and that's what we did. Stoked we got the trifecta, which was always icing on the cake to find a striped bass this time of year in July. Like I mentioned, found a few more yesterday, and actually some really nice fish yesterday. Bluefish in the fly are always fun. So all that being shared, I wanted to share a little update on the beach front. Fishing's a little on the slower side off the surf than what we had, say, a few weeks ago when that water's a little cooler. That being said, you can catch striped bass off the surf, you can catch fluke off the surf, and you can catch bluefish off the surf of LBI all summer long. If you're looking to fish bait, I would suggest fishing sand fleas. Fishing for flounder, I would suggest fishing gulp. You could also fish some lures, whether that would be a small metal, like an epoxy jig, possibly a deadly dick, or an Ava jig. An Ava jig with a teaser is a great year-round approach for fishing the LBI surf or really any sand beach. When I mentioned Ava jig, an A17 or a 007 is kind of the size you want to be looking for. Fishing a teaser up above that, whether that's a 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 hook. Fish a white with flash, maybe a chartreuse and white. If it ain't chartreuse, it ain't no use, but white's always good. White's always right for teasers when you're selecting some patterns. You can get fancy if you want, but a simple teaser is really all you need. You can cast that diamond jig with that teaser. You can put a little bait up on there if you want to put a gulp with a 3 or 4 inch grub, either 5 inch grub. You can fish that slow for fluke. You cast retrieve that, catch striped bass. You also cast retrieve that and catch bluefish in the spring, in the summer, in the fall. So if you're just starting out, you want a couple of little tips and tricks on things you can put in your surf bag. That's one of them. SP minnow size 13, great option. I like to fish that in any kind of chrome pattern or colorway, whether that's the 01, I think is the shiner, the 02 is the sardine. The bone's a great color. The yellow is a great color. I like to fish yellow when you got some orange in the sky, early morning, late in the day. Other than that, I like to fish those natural colors, little chromes, get a little shine when you have that sun. Overcast days, sometimes I will fish more darker colors like an olive, sometimes a black and purple. Early morning, dark, sometimes black and purple can now produce as well. But if it's one lure and only one lure, it's the bone, hands down. Going a little deeper into things, if you want to find another shallow swimming lure that's got a little different swimming action, take a look at the Ozuri Mag Darter. Awesome lure, season in, season out. Catch a lot of fish in the spring, catch a lot of fish in the summer, and a lot of fish in the fall. As far as size, match it up with the baits. If there's mullet around in the fall, you kind of want to go 3-4 inch. Right now in the summertime, probably have smaller 2 to 3 inch peanut bunker, fish like a 3-inch bait. Sometimes you get those bigger baits around, you can go up to a 4 or 5 inch. That being shared, I also like the Yozori Mag Minnow. That's a good one. But I would definitely lean towards a Rapala, just so you make sure that you have a little deep diver, a little more aggressive swimming plug. That would be an XR10. SXR is the saltwater hooks. The XR is the X-Wrap. So an SXR from Rapala, size 10. Great fishing lure. I had a couple striped bass in them yesterday. I like to fish the olive. I like to fish the pilchard. I like to fish the GGH, which is the glass ghost. That's the all white. Fish it in a number of different colors, but the white, the glass ghost is an awesome catching lure. And the olive is also a really, really good one for me. Other than that, you gotta have like a peanut bunker kind of imitation, like a Castmaster in your bag. Casts very well, especially into the wind. That's gonna cover some bases there. Rubber shad, definitely can't go wrong with that. If there's bluefish around, keep that off to the side, maybe fish a bucktail. Say 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce bucktail with a strip would be a great, great lure to fish just about all season long. So that right there is just kind of a handful of lures you fish off the surf. Yeah, there's a bunch of other lures you can put in there, like a metal lip, a pencil popper, Polaris popper. I should probably mention a Stillwater popper. They have a real deep, heavy rattle, low pitch rattle. I absolutely love them. You can fish them slow, just kind of snap, 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 snap. Like a more of a quick pattern to it, but a slow retrieve, so they don't cover a lot of ground fast. Or a stop and go, like a pop, retrieve, 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 pop, retrieve, retrieve, pop. And I kind of let it sit there for a second. But the retrieve is always to catch your slack up. Never ever fish lures with slack. Slack's the devil. You get a bite, you're always gonna miss them with slack. With that shared, I know there's a bunch of different lures to fish. Everyone has their own favorite. Throw in your comment below your favorite lure fishing the beach, or maybe the bayside, or the inlet, or the boat, whether you're fishing the spring, summer, or fall. Share your top 3 catchers or something like that, your MVPs, maybe for this past spring or this summer, what you're using right now, or maybe for last fall. Kind of help out some other anglers, see what you guys are fishing, see what other people are catching on. Awesome to share a little love. I can share that I think we're gonna have a little bit of a blow coming up here. Looks like the, say, tranquil summertime Lake Atlantic conditions may be over. Might have a little bit of a blow here coming this afternoon. It is cranking right now. On my way in, the sea kind of kicked up to, say, 2 to 3 foot in sloppy white caps. That's what you gotta expect when you get a 15 to 20 knot south wind. Kind of see how that plays out. I think we're gonna have a little southerly winds tomorrow. I think we're looking at possibly a 2 to 3 foot swell hitting the beaches of LBI into this weekend. Hopefully the weather cleans up and gets better, because we had an awesome stretch, awesome fishing. Hopefully you got out and enjoyed. Hopefully you get geared up and you're ready for the next stretch of awesome weather and getting into some good fun fishing here as the season goes on. Be on the lookout for cobia, which are here. Had a beautiful cobia come up on me. Actually 2, a little small one and a really good size one, probably 20+ pounder yesterday. That actually followed up a olive pilchard color Rapala. Unfortunately, didn't eat. I wish I had a bucktail ready to go. I think they would have ate the bucktail. Cobia around, some small mahi around inshore. Saw a couple mahi today, actually, on a floating piece of wood that was about, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles off of Barnegat Lake to the east, maybe a little east-northeast. There's hopefully gonna be some Spanish mackerel and bonita showing up. There's 2 summertime critters that will be around when we have that clean, warm water. We got some sheep's head around, we got some triggerfish around. Mentioned fluke, mentioned still a schooly summertime striped bass. Mentioned the bluefish. Blowfish kind of been few and far between. Yeah, I know there's some pecking at my gulp here the last couple trips that I fished. But I haven't heard any really good blowfish reports. If you have caught some blowfish, or maybe some friends catching them, share below, share the love. But yeah, blowfish not really stacked up like they were in, say, previous years, but maybe that changes. Weak fish been pretty good. Not like epic fishing, but there's been some pretty consistent, you know, kind of a lower kind of pace, but consistent reports really all spring and summer of weak fish in the area, so that's good. Last summer I did really good with them in July and August, and the summer before, looking forward to that. Hopefully that pops up and progresses along throughout the summer. Definitely good warm summertime fishery. I like to do that in the early mornings before the boat traffic picks up. Kind of see how that goes, but that's kind of a lay of the land, a quick little spread, little update here. Sorry it was 15 minutes long, but I wanted to kind of share a quick little supplementative report to update to yesterday's, or no, it was 2 days ago, report that I threw up there, tried to provide some information. Also check out fishinglbi.com. I threw a little detailed report up there with a couple photos, some fluke photos, some tuna photos from offshore, actually swordfish photo, a bunch of different stuff. So right now, here we are, July 12th, almost mid-July. Like I mentioned, got a good stretch of opportunities here off the beach, in the bay, in the inlet, offshore, inshore, midshore, and everywhere in between. If you're not getting out because you're busy, try to find some time. Get out and enjoy the summertime fishing that we have. Enjoy the summer while it's here. Get out and enjoy the water, cool down, get out of the city, get out of the inland areas, and get down to the beach, get down to LBI, Gear Up Fisherman's headquarters, stop by for some help if you need some. We're here for you at Long Beach Island, Ship Bottom. And get out and enjoy yourself, have some fun time fishing on the water. Have a great day.